Okay, augmented intelligence trading tools, Serenity, Harmony, Soul in 500 microseconds or less. Today we're going to cover some of the experts. So some of these experts, we'll cover a few of them, and we'll do a bunch in maybe one setting here. Okay, so we'll put these together, and let's grab these and look at them. So expert advisors are the backbone of augmented trading. They can be broken down into categories: informational, black boxes, gray box, and cat and fat tools, computer assisted trading tools, and foreign currency assisted trading tools. Now, fat tools, this is the authentication EA. This is probably the most important one. All right. This one actually works like this. We're going to go to the next screen here. And what it'll do is it'll turn on your tools. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to go to Window. Let's make sure we get this right on the screen. You can go to Tools or Insert, and then you go to, these are indicators. Now, notice it's not in there. So what you have to do is you have to go to View, and you go to Navigator, and you scroll up, and we're going to close this down. And we're going to go to Expert Advisors, and we're going to come down here to Fat Tools Authentication EA. All you do is you pull this on, you fill in your name, address, and phone number. Okay. Now, once you fill out your name, address, and phone number, we'll just put in here, let's fill out a funny one. Okay. My name is Jeff, and we're going to put Jefe, Crystal. And this is a real email address. So if you want to get me on that, this is a real email address. The rest of this is going to be fake. We're going to put in 555-1212, and we're going to put in the city, Salt Lake City, and then for fun, we're going to put it, oh, that's the address. This is what we want to put in funny. 400 South and 300 West, or 400 South, 400 West, is just about where the homeless shelter is in Salt Lake City, and it's right by a place called Pioneer Park. Now, we got to put in our zip code. And we're going to put our zip code in here, 84054, and we're going to save this. And we're just going to call it our authentication, AUTH. Okay, and then we'll just save that. If we click OK, and it's ran before, this will pop up a website, and the website will give us an error. It'll say OK. If you think you screwed it up and it didn't authenticate right, there's a script down here that says reset account info. You just drag this script on. It'll erase it, and you can restart. Okay. When you're done, go to Expert and remove. You never leave the authentication expert on there. You don't. It doesn't need to run. That is one of the most important experts that we have. Okay. Now, this next one that we've got up here, this one is called Ask and Close. Test of the bid, ask and close. All right. Now, MetaTrader, we had to write some tools to find out if it was going to run good. So if you come down here under experts and you grab this where it says debugger close bid, what it does is we drop this on, and it has some inputs, just how long you're going to wait between trades. That's all you're going to do. And really what it does is it checks the closing price of the chart and the bid price. So watch, I'm going to bring this on. I'm going to bring this up, and I'm going to click expert. That's why the other one didn't pop up, because I had that on, and I didn't want it to run. I had it on there on purpose, but we're popping this up now. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to trade and new order. Okay, now this is a euro. In MetaTrader, these must be the same, and I'm going to try to hone in on these and show you, because MetaTrader basically is a well, it's really complicated. It'd take me a second to explain it, but these need to be the same. Okay, so look at the 54 and 54. Those two numbers need to be the same, because the charts in MetaTrader aren't like stocks. They're bid charts. And if there's a difference between those two, there can be a discrepancy between the dealable prices, these are called dealable prices, that you trade on, and the charts on the chart. If there's ever a discrepancy, this will pop up and say, Houston, we have a problem. And it'll give it 500 milliseconds to change it. IBFX never has a problem with this, ever. But it's a testing tool that we had to have to test things. Okay. So That's an important thing we need to cover. Now, let's go back to our PowerPoint. Hopefully, that one's it. Oops, that one's not it. Okay, let's hit pause while I find it. Okay, we can restart here. Now, let's go in and look at this. We'll go one slide forward. MetaTrader charts are bid charts, and this EA is designed to look at the close of the bar and make sure that it matches. And its purpose is to test new dealing desks. We don't use it all the time. Okay, now this is the next one. This is the spread counter, all right? Now, what this one does, it's to check for wide spreads. It just runs and runs and runs and runs and runs on the screen, and it checks for wide spreads, okay? And it'll total them up, and I believe it prints them to the screen. There's not even any inputs. So it takes the spread, and then it checks the total amount that it's got, and it goes through and the number of counters, like how many bid and ask changes it gets. So the more bid and ask changes you get, this is one way to rank it. It's better for you, okay? So the more bids and ask changes you get, the better for the system, okay? Now this is the actual spread amount, and this is the counter. So the spread's 2.1 pips on this. And it's nice that we're getting changes all the time, because that means your EA is constantly clicking. Without that ticking all the time, you don't have your EA won't become activated, which can be a problem. Okay, so the next one we got here is this one is the Fat Tools out of sync. Now this is called this is kind of tricky, but this is called your rates array. And what you do is you go pick your symbols you want and your time frames you want, and you just click OK. And what it'll do is it'll tell you if your rates array and the bid and ask are out of sync, or your close. It just tells you if anything's out of sync in there. We use this to test if the data gets out of sync. It's an error trap, because without getting into anything too tacky, when you get into here, there's a command called iClose, and there's a command called copy rates. If they get out of sync, we want to know. And so if some of this stuff gets out of sync between the different places, it alerts us. That's a 10-second overview of informational EAs. Okay, informational EAs that we use. So let's grab some other ones.